I feel good.
Weird.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Can you hear me? You're so quiet.
Wait, should I start over? No, I've been recording for 2 minutes of just me fucking around trying to figure this out.
I'm sure that's the best part.
It's where we're at. It's just where we're at. How the fuck are you?
Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long.
We have.
But
It feels, I'm going to take a picture for posterity. People need to know. You look amazing.
thank you. I look very pale because I've been hiding out indoors.
You look really pale. I'm not going to lie. You actually this looks fake. Are you a vampire?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I mean, religious sunscreen user, have been experimenting with sunscreens from other countries because I've been told that they have better sunscreen filters. So that's been my project over the summer break.
Have you tried Korean? Have you tried the Korean? Birdie's obsessed with some Korean sunscreen that she makes me buy.
Yes, I've been long time using Japanese sunscreen.
No, this is a K brand. K Beauty.
Yes. So now I just ordered some Korean sunscreens, and the French have some good ones too. So
that tracks.
I've recently been considering, could I figure out a way to fly to France just to get some face creams? I'm not super motivated to travel, but that would probably get me to go.
I think that's fun. I think that sounds like a fun trip.
Just go get a croissant and some skin cream.
Oh, God, we've missed so much. I was going to say Birdie was obsessed during the Olympics with the muffin guy. Were you following the muffin guy, the Norwegian open water swimmer who his events kept getting pushed, but he found this chocolate muffin in the commissary for the athletes.
I heard about the chocolate
muffin. Yeah. Well, it was this guy who on TikTok started making it this whole thing. And then people were seeking the muffin out, seeking him out.
And it's muffin I believe it's some industrial
muffin.
An industrial muffin. School cafeteria vibes muffin.
That's an industrial muffin. If I've ever
We missed the whole
one.
Olympics, and I feel like this year was such a banger. This season, from the opening ceremonies, which everyone lost their mind over, whether it was satanic or not. I think it was spicy.
I don't even satanic, but they also I don't know. People are no one can critically think anymore.
And then
that's what I know. By the way, I'm holding strong to that. No one can people, you at home, me, Casey. Guys, we got to work on these critical thinking skills. Are there things we could do when you were little, did anyone ever get put in the gifted program?
Yes.
You know that at school, how they would have that gifted program?
Yeah.
And they used to make you do those word problems.
Yeah.
And you would do those charts to figure out the things. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it was Annie's brother is Steve. Steve has 4 sisters. Whatever.
Yeah, logic problem.
Logic problems. Guys, I think we need logic problems back up in here.
Listen, we've been knowing for many years that puzzles keep your brains sharp. And I think people think of that as an elderly type of exercise that needs to be done. But I think we could all use a little brain sharpening prior to getting elderly. I was lamenting on Threads because I've been trying to use Threads instead of the Bad Place. I was lamenting on Threads that every time I go through a drive-through, I don't drink soda really, so I always ask for carbonated water. No matter what you ask no matter what name you use to ask, the person always acts like they never heard of what you're saying. And then they'll say some other, like, I'll be like, can I have a carbonated water? And they'll be like, we don't have that. Do you mean soda water? And I'm like, I mean, yes, those are synonyms for each other. Like, I can't imagine that the words carbonated water are throwing you for this type of loop. You'll be like, can I get a seltzer? And they'll be like, a seltzer?
You'd be surprised.
Do you mean a club soda? And I'm just like, I mean, they're all, like, we know about synonyms, right?
People don't. I think people don't.
I think it's like, well, I think it's that, and I think like we're very quick to become incredulous about things, and I think that like people have a daily amount of incredulousness that they like feel like they have to have, like maybe they're a little addicted to it, like caffeine, and they're just ready to dish it out, like to be incredulous about something.
People are ready to be, incredulous and also just like outraged.
Yeah. Like
ready to be outraged. The name of this episode is Ready to be Outraged.
Yeah. So.
But I'm not outraged right now.
You're not outraged. You're good.
No. I feel good.
Weird.
I feel pretty good.
I feel pretty good too. And then I'm like, I don't trust it, which I think is good. You know me.
We have to have a healthy level of skepticism for sure.
A healthy level of skepticism. And like, you know, yeah, there's just some people that you can never trust in some situations that you can never trust. And so while I feel good about everything we have going on, everything we're doing, I will not trust the people I don't trust for 1 second.
I don't trust the people I don't trust. Here's what I'm going to say. Guys, it's been a fucking summer. There's been a lot that has transpired.
Yeah.
I needed a break from my responsibilities and also I just needed a break from like doing anything kind of. And I kind of did nothing. And even though I was supposed to be working on my pilot, I didn't even do that. Sorry, Peacock, if you're listening. I didn't do anything. Except, I mean, I did political stuff.
Yeah.
I did some stuff politically, and I did Chelsea's podcast because we love her. But everything else that I could like not do, I didn't do. And I said, can we talk about this in September?
Yeah.
And it's not September yet, just in case you're wondering at home and you're like, oh no, is it September? It's not. Don't worry. You didn't miss it.
It's like when you start practicing going to bed at your bedtime for back to school. That's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing now. But I also felt like this was imperative because I have had such a huge 2 weeks, and the Democratic National Convention was such an experience that I would love to like share with people who are interested. So if you're not interested, well, what's wrong with you? If you are interested, you're in for a real treat. Listen, I tried to see if Jesse Tyler Ferguson could jump on to talk with us. To have our shared perspective. Because I thought maybe that would be fun. But he is doing this job in Morocco.
Wow.
Which I forgot about. He's just doing this, just a little job in Morocco real quick. And I was like, right, I forgot you were going there. So he wasn't able to. I could have asked Quinto. I could have asked Zach Quinto. There were so many people, or Carrie Champion. There were so many people there.
I mean, everyone was there.
Well, not everyone.
except for me. I feel like everyone I know was there. And so, yes. And the last two guests that we had, like people filling in for you, they were there. So
I've never met, it was Charlotte Clymer, right?
Yeah, Charlotte Clymer and Molly Jong-Fast.
I've never met Charlotte Clymer and who?
And Molly Jong-Fast.
Oh, and Molly. Yeah, of course, Molly. I love Molly. I know Molly, but I didn't run into Molly, which is funny. The people, should I start at the beginning?
Yeah, start at the beginning.
Okay. I first realized I needed to become politically active. No, I'm kidding. So dumb. So fucking dumb. So, per usual, when it rains, it pours. One of the reasons why I wanted to take the summer off was because Birdie was going to be home from boarding school, and we wanted to I really wanted to be available to her when she wanted and needed me, and same with Cricket while they were out of school. And there was a lot of logistics and traveling and a lot of stuff, and there was just it was just tough. We had I had a pretty tough, rough June and July. I'm not going to lie. It was rough for me.
Yeah.
It was not great. I didn't have, guys, in some ways I had a really great summer in some respects. And in other ways, it was really fucking hard. And on a personal level and whatevs. And we went and I got, and I'm glad that we had already sort of decided to take this break, because I don't know sometimes if real life processing for the public is the thing that benefits me the greatest. I don't know.
Right. Sure. Yeah, of course.
So all that being said, I had gotten invited to go to the DNC. Well, the Kamala thing was wild.
Yeah.
We weren't even here for that.
Right. We had talked about it and then went on.
We had some great debate about it. We had a little bit of a great debate about it. I was very pro Biden stepping down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying that I wasn't going to support, but I was saying I thought that it was the best thing for the party would be if he stepped down. And
right. And I was not confident that the party could get it together to support a new candidate.
And boy, oh boy, have they gotten it the fuck together.
We really have gotten it together. I'm very pleased. And I would like to say also that wholeheartedly support Kamala, still standing by what I said back then. Still would be voting for a box of dust with a Joe Biden post-it on it if that's who was running, but it's not.
By the way, 100% never a debate.
Yeah.
The truth is, the people, and this is where you all get involved, everyone listening, the people that we need to bring in really are the moderate women.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this country. And I know that, and a lot of and young people, motivating young people to vote.
Yeah.
And obviously, there are lots of issues and lots of things that need to be addressed, both for our country and also, Israel, Palestine, the people of Gaza, all of these things, there's all of these things. We have to hold them all, guys. We just have to hold them all. And also, you cannot throw, that was I cannot believe I was on camera for that moment. Because it's you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know that expression?
Right. Yeah.
And that was what she was saying. We can't be Goldilocks. We can't be this isn't exactly the perfect candidate for me because of she's not progressive enough in this way or this way or this way. And I really don't agree with people that I see who are on the left who are saying that this is, that you all are saying get her into office and then no, that's not how this is going to work. And it's never going to. And my feeling is like, you keep pushing, you keep trying, you keep pushing for incremental change. You keep showing up. You show up also for as progressive of a candidate as you can find in your own district and your state and your city elections. You impress upon them what's important to you. And right now we have these choices. This is it for president of the United States, for the highest position in our country. These are the fucking choices.
Yeah.
And if you vote for fucking Jill Stein, fuck you.
Yeah. It's like I know I'm the millionth person to make this analogy. If you go into a restaurant and you order a Coke and they say, oh, sorry, we don't have Coke, we have Pepsi, or we can make you a diarrhea milkshake. You take Pepsi.
Wait, did somebody say, has someone said that before? That is insane and hilarious, and yes.
I don't know specifically diarrhea milkshake, but I'm just saying, like, you can live with a Pepsi. You can live with a Pepsi. It might not have been your first choice, but you don't order an E. coli smoothie to prove a point to Pepsi about how much you hate it.
I do want to say, I just saw Paula Pell and her incredible wife, Janine Brito. Apparently, they just watched the microbiome documentary, and apparently a woman does make she puts a turd in a blender.
Oh, sure.
To do her own fecal transplant.
Which, okay, now we're being gross, but I have to know, she doesn't drink it, right? She squirts it up her...
I think she squirts it up her ass.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, guys, so don't quote me on this. But I do know that a turd in a blender recently was, like 2 days ago, was a topic of conversation.
Wow. So, I mean,
it's just like, it's really in the air, I guess, a turd in a blender.
Well, I have two things to say about that. I love a good fecal transplant conversation, so maybe I'll be DMing Paula Pell to ask her more about this documentary.
I think we can watch the microbiome doc.
I want to talk it over with her. I want to have a discussion group about it. The second thing is, speaking about it being in the air, do yourself a favor and Google the words fecal plume and then let it remind you to always close the toilet before you flush in your bathroom.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
No.
And also, it's why I run away from an automatic toilet in a public bathroom like a bomb is about to go off. Like I'm getting out of there. Because a bomb is about to go off. Fecal plume. Google it. Anyway.
I don't want to.
Anyway, back to the DNC.
All right. So Kamala gets this nom.
Which, by the way,
Biden steps down.
Like, I know I sound like a Joe Biden stan. The way that all shook out and the way that Joe Biden made his voice heard in that process, we went from like, we're going to have a snap poll, a snap primary, and, people are going to compete, to it being like Joe Biden was just like, it's Kamala, like the torch is being passed. That was the most politically masterful process I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, continue.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Then he's secured his legacy.
He's secured his legacy. And also, I mean, it's wild that like the person that everybody was like, oh, he can't even tie his own shoes, like days prior outsmarted everyone politically. So, yay. Good for you, Joe Biden.
No, I never would underestimate Joe Biden. I'm not going to I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan also, I have been previously, to how he has changed his mind about things.
Yes.
I think
I love an older person who evolves on something. That's always, it's so refreshing when someone older than 50 is like, oh, you know what? I once thought this, but now I think this.
Totally.
Unless they start thinking something that's nuts. But anyway.
Unless they go the other direction. And then we're like, ugh, bummer. That old person went the other way. God damn it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes
it's happening. I mean, well, obviously.
Well. So anyway, I immediately like reached out. How can I help? You and I got on that call, the White Women for Kamala.
Yeah, I was so psyched about that. It was so cool like of them to let us be involved and like to help them.
To help with ideas and stuff. Shannon Watts, shout out, and my friend Annie Andrews from South Carolina, who ran against fucking Nancy Mace, who literally looks like when Ursula turns human to try to trick Eric so that Ariel doesn't, like, that is what Nancy Mace is to me. Anyway. And Annie is like
the
just
girl
a fucking
next door.
Angel. She is. She's the best. But anyway, so yeah, you and I immediately, I was like, and I've like just everybody that calls me, I'm like, I'm looping in Casey. She's got good ideas. She's got a good network.
By the way, shout out to Katie Storino, who helped like immediately with some heavy hitting information. Our friend Katie Storino was like, I don't know how to do this, but I know who knows how to do this, and put everybody in touch with some great people. And also our friend Julie Lacouture was also very helpful with suggestions of how to technically make that giant Zoom call happen. So,
and by the way, minus a couple hitches, it fucking worked. It was great.
It worked.
I joined one 2 weeks later, one of the calls.
Yeah.
There were like 7,000 people on it.
Amazing.
And I told them all to manifest it. Write it down.
I was there. I watched it.
Wait, seriously though, I do have to say that Emily Beebe's mom got a text from a friend of hers. Now these are women that are like in their mid-ish 70s, I would probably maybe early mid 70s. And her mom's friend was like, well, Busy, I don't know but she knows me obviously. Yeah. Well, Busy is telling me to write it down. I don't even have a journal, but I'm writing it down as if it's happening. We're going to manifest it.
Yes.
I am kind of obsessed that I wildly, spur of the moment, decided to ask all the women on that call to manifest a Harris Walz.
Listen, it was important. There was like a Lionsgate portal was happening.
It was an important day. That was the Lionsgate portal. We had to do it.
Can't hurt. I had dinner at Emily's that night, and we worked on our lists together, our manifestation lists. Not just because you said so, just because it's just smart.
No, honey, I didn't invent it. I'm not claiming. I'm not trying to claim responsibility. I'm just saying. On that call, I had many things I was going to talk about, and I wildly swung and was like, guys, let's just manifest this. Let's just write it down.
You have an opportunity. You're just giving people what they want to hear. They're like, listen, it does work in a way.
Oh, my God. Wait. I did it the week, was it the weekend before the Lionsgate? Whatever. Yeah, it was. I had to come back to New York. So we were in South Carolina. Birdie and I had to come back to New York because I had to get her some, she had to do her physical, doctors. We had some doctor's appointment stuff to take care of before going back to Sweden. And I knew that the whole schedule leading up to taking her back to school was going to be packed. So anyway, she and I came up to the city for 6 days to do this. And I was just having a moment, and I was like, you know what? And I had watched one of these manifesting things had popped up because they were really in that beginning of August, they were just all over Instagram because in prep for the Lionsgate portal. Anyway, one of the people that like popped up was like, let's do a quick 48-hour manifestation exercise or whatever. And I did it. And so I like wrote down, I was sort of like not excited to come back to New York. I felt like all my friends were like sort of gone. I didn't know what was going on. And I just was like having a moment, whatever. I wrote this thing about the weekend, like as if it were Monday. I was coming in on a Friday. Yeah. I wrote about the weekend, just the weekend, 48 hours. That was the thing. So it was like, I'm so grateful to have had such a magical New York weekend. This is why New York is incredible. Birdie and I got along so well. I saw so many incredible people. I'm so glad that this happened and whatever. You guys, I had literally the greatest New York weekend of all time. It was...
I love that.
I know. And it was just like magic. It really was magic. It was crazy. It was so fun. Anyway, I'm a believer. Okay, so.
Wait, I want to say, yes, I'm a believer too, but I want to say that is just called making plans and having goals, by the way. Like if people want to shit on your manifestation habits or practice or whatever, yes, I understand that it seems like a little woo, but really all it is like setting goals and making plans and planning to do well. And like maybe the problem when we're not making plans to do well is that we're like a little rudderless, you know? And so that's what manifestation is. It's just making plans.
It is, but also like I think the longer I live. Oh my God, what is that thing? I had to memorize it in 7th grade. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. That's like the beginning of it. Hold on, now I have to Google it. But like in theater class or whatever, we were forced to like memorize it. The point is, I do think like the stories you tell yourself about yourself and about your life, are become your life, and become the thing that is. Yeah. And if you start to like shift the narrative, both in your telling of it and in your like actual just looking toward the future of it. You know, I was like having such a hard time dating or whatever. Remember?
Yeah. We skipped a lot of that too.
I really, at a certain point, I was like, I'm not going to say like men are trash. I'm going to say like the guys that are attracted to me are incredible and loving and like interesting and appreciate me for all of my weirdness.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. It's by Charles Swindoll.
Okay.
Who's Charles Swindoll?
I don't know. Should we know Charles Swindoll?
The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes.
That is such a thing that someone would make middle schoolers memorize.
100%.
It's a good one, though. I mean, listen, It's a fine line to walk between being like toxically positive, which I don't advocate for, because I think that's like putting your head in the sand when there's a problem to be addressed and saying everything's going to be okay. But there is something about just saying like, today I'm going to have a good day and I'm going to have great interactions with people. I'm going to get good news. And then I think it just like wakes you up to seeing it. I don't know.
I think so. Anyway, all this to say.
You asked people on that call to manifest.
I mean,
for the Lion's Gate portal, not the Heaven's Gate portal. Totally different.
Jesus Christ.
Totally different. And fine. It's fine. I think a lot of people did it. I did it.
I think a lot of people did it too. Anyway, so did the call, had gotten involved with the campaign. I did a call for volunteers with the Harris Walz campaign. Then Tim Walz came on board. Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, everybody, I'm a longtime fan of Governor Walz.
Obviously you are, because he made Prince Day. He signed it in purple ink. Come on.
He wore a purple tie.
About here? He wore a purple tie. He gets it.
I'm a fan of all things Minnesota, but especially this guy has really come out for my guy, Prince.
And also for children.
And for children.
And also for not being fucking weird and for just calling it like it is.
Right.
When he said that before he was the vice presidential candidate. But when he said that on that news program, I was like, yeah. 100% Where's this guy been?
Right?
He's just calling it like it is.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that process of getting to know all those candidates, by the way. Like
I did too.
I would have been thrilled with any of them, to be honest. Like they were all killing it.
Me too. But I do think that Tim is the perfect choice. Tim Walz is the perfect choice for so many reasons. But I love this turn in this cycle of this antidote to toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
That both Doug Emhoff and Tim Walz are showing us, showing the world, which is that there is real strength to be had in being joyful and supportive and loving and inclusive and fucking smart and good at their jobs and masculine. And Doug Emhoff fucks. I'm sorry. You just know he does. That's why everybody loved that picture of him from when he was in his 20s, because you just know he does.
It's true. I mean, we know.
We know.
I saw somebody, a friend of mine, I hope he doesn't mind that I'm saying this, I won't identify, but a friend of mine who is like one of the smartest people that I know posted a picture of Doug and Kamala at the DNC, but also Doug and his ex-wife. And he was like, why are we not asking this man to teach us some type of course? Why are we not asking him like how he's getting associated with all these incredible women?
Well, let me just say something to that point. We could be, and also I think we could, and also I think everyone should be paying attention to how he behaves, and how he carries himself, and how he talks about his ex-wife, and how he talks about his wife, and how he talks about women, and how he talks about his children and also his son, and how his son talks about him, and how he talks about his mother.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying I'm very into, because we've talked about it on this podcast. I said it I think a year ago. I was like, what is the antidote to these motherfuckers online, this Andrew Tate-ification?
Right.
What is it?
Well, here's why I love it, Busy, is because you're exactly right. And you know how we've always said, once you see it, You can't unsee it. You can't forget it. Everyone has seen it now. Everyone has seen it now. And so now when we go back, even to like guys that 4 years ago you thought were pretty good, like pretty okay, I bet you could go back and watch some of these guys that are like, even, you know, they're on our side, they're on our team, but they maybe didn't go as far as what we're talking about now. And I think you'll see it. You'll see the difference between Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff and Pete Buttigieg, and just I think you'll see the difference, because now we see it.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I think I do think we've been sort of, you know, in so many ways desensitized, right?
Yeah.
And desensitized to this disgusting, crass, toxic way, and having it written off as being acceptable for a myriad of reasons. And like, the truth is, it's just fucking not. And I don't need to know that. I don't need to be made aware of that it's not.
Right.
But little boys growing up do. And certainly the person that holds the highest office in the land, when they behave in such a way, why wouldn't little boys and teenage boys and young impressionable men, why wouldn't they think that that's a totally okay and acceptable way to be and move through the world? And that's in fact the way that a man should be.
Right.
And like, it's been really tough to try to figure out a way to combat these narratives of that these guys have put forward, you know, locker room talk and like that, you know, feminism is really about hating men and like all this weird fucking shit that these guys have put forth to try to like secure their own power because they want to behave in a disgusting way, because they're sort of like, I don't know, have allowed themselves to feel whatever the fuck, I don't know, lean into their most lowest common denominator, basest desires.
Well, they're trying to like lean into something that's based on like you didn't earn any of this. You know what I mean? Like what you're trying to lay claim to, you haven't earned it through intelligence or through being righteous in any way. You're just trying to like lay it on biology, which is wild. Like you just think it's your birthright. And JD Vance, the way that he's been talking, like
he's like an actual insane person.
Like an actual insane person. But and like, thank God, I guess that everybody seems to know he's insane. And they're just like, yeah, that's gross, dude. Everything you say is gross. Like, thank God he's not charismatic in any way. Because if
also,
he had...
What the fuck is Cheryl Hines doing? I'm sorry, dude. What? The fuck?
I know.
That guy? What's wrong with that guy other than the worm in the brain? I mean, truly.
He's always been like this. He's always been like this,
you guys,
which is why...
bear in the fucking Central Park? The fucking whale head?
The whale head? I mean, listen.
I'm so horrified by Robert Kennedy. If you're a fan out there, you need to reevaluate. What are you doing?
But this is the thing. Robert Kennedy just a while back was positioning himself as a super, super progressive, left wing.
Totally.
Same with Tulsi Gabbard, who's now prepping Donald Trump for debates. So everyone also who has said the horseshoe theory, where the left becomes so far whatever that it touches the right, like everybody who said it wasn't real, tell those two. What's happening? What's happening with those two?
Well, I mean, it seems clear to me that so many people just want to be fucking famous.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're like getting money.
A weird fame / power grab.
Yeah.
I think it's totally insane and bizarre. And like, I don't fucking know. I mean, the RFK of it all is...
Nobody owes me anything, but I do... And nobody owes anyone anything, but I do have so much respect for like the two people I've seen that were like, I took RFK Jr. seriously and...
Who? Tell me who. Because I've unfollowed some people. So if they've come around, I need to know.
Just a couple random people, but like so much respect for being like, I maybe jumped the gun on that one.
And look, anyone who's like celebrities shouldn't be giving their political opinions. Like, fuck you. I pay fucking taxes. I'm a mother. I'm a fucking daughter. I'm a person. I'm a human.
We put that argument to bed when Ronald Reagan was the president.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Also, like, just everybody cool it. I'm allowed to have a fucking opinion just because I have more followers than you. Whatever. I mean, what is this about? What are we talking about? Foria. I can't help it, guys. I love it. Foria. Why are they just hiring us to do like commercials, like straight up commercials?
Jingles where we turn 80s songs into jingles.
For Foria, because we're obsessed with their products. We love them. We love Euphoria. Guys, let me ask you a question. Have you heard us talk about Foria? If not, listen up. Imagine the best sex you've ever had in your life. Now imagine it could be better. The best orgasm you've ever had in your life. And then you add a little product, Awaken Arousal Oil, Sex Oil, and holy shit, oh my God, mind blown.
And we're talking about whether you're having sex with a partner or
solo,
even if you're just on your own.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Foria designs products that naturally enhance sexual pleasure. They give you access to bigger and better orgasms. They use plant-based ingredients to intensify sexual pleasure and also relieve discomfort for those of you who maybe are going through some changes. Maybe you're having some dryness, I hear is a thing. Foria's got you covered.
Yeah.
Covered.
Awaken Arousal Oil uses CBD and it has like a nice little warming sensation.
Botanicals, yes. Arousal, sensitivity. It like helps you access orgasm and pleasure and just like kind of turns you on. Guys, it turns you on.
It's just good stuff.
And if you're like a person who's like, I don't know, I think my partner would feel weird if no, I guarantee your partner is going to be like, bring it on.
Hot damn.
Because it's a vibe and it really does something. Okay? Listen to me. So I recommend that Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil. I buy it as gifts for people. I'm not joking. I literally placed such a large order when there were some birthdays coming up that I did think that maybe they thought like what was happening with me. You know what I mean?
Bring it to a dinner party as a hostess gift.
Honey, bring it bring it. If you're staying with someone for the weekend, bring it there. Bring some fucking oils to lube up some of your friends. Give them the gift of pleasure. You have our permission to try it. You have our permission to gift it. You have our permission. You don't need our permission, but you got it. We fully endorse you to go ahead, treat yourself to more, deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it. And as often as possible, you can start with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a very special deal for you, our listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting ForiaWellness.com/best or use code BEST at checkout. That's FORIA wellness.com/best for 20% off your first order. We recommend trying the Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil. You're gonna thank us. Ooh, Ketone IQ. I just got this.
Yeah.
I put it in my fridge and I took a little shot yesterday and I loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You just drink it right down?
Yeah, but I'm kind of like that with supplements and things. Like, I don't think that's for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to explain what it is first.
Okay.
So it's like they bottled essentially like a runner's high, okay? And it's not like a caffeine high. What it is, it's ketone IQ, is high performance energy. It's like a very clean shot of energy, no sugar or caffeine. They did just launch ketone IQ plus caffeine, which is 5 grams of ketones and 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea. And it tastes good. It's not like a diet thing, guys. It's not. Right. It's not like a keto diet thing. Ketone IQ is the name of it. But they believe that everyone can improve their metabolic health by elevating their ketones. And ketones are a uniquely powerful macronutrient that can cross the blood-brain barrier and increase brain efficiency. So compared to other sources of energy like fat or glucose, ketones are a more efficient fuel that can produce more power and use less oxygen. And it like doesn't affect your sleep. So like if you're taking it, you can take it anytime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like, it's like an excellent afternoon pick me up if you're having like cloudy thinking, if you're a little tired, it's great for that.
Right. You can like take it as a shot, which is what I did, what I've been doing. You can like mix it with water. You can like mix it with anything. And it really does like, it really made me feel great. Like really sharp and focused and awake, but not like caffeine and not jittery and just more focused. I thought it was, honestly, I'm going to like keep using it. It's in my fridge right now.
And to be honest, they recommended that we put it in the fridge and drink it cold and just like shoot it back or whatever. It's not the best tasting thing in the world. And the caffeine one tastes a little different and a little better, but it's just one little shot. So, you know, they like to say,
and it works incredible.
It doesn't taste great. It tastes like it works.
Oh, I mean, I kind of appreciate that because it also like doesn't have sugar in it, right?
Yeah.
But like the thing is, I take lots of things that don't taste great for vitamins.
Right.
And you know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
Okay, so what? Like it's 2 seconds of my life. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Some people don't think coffee tastes great. I'm just saying. I just I don't know. Try it out. See how you feel.
Give it
Especially
a try.
if you're a person who's like super sensitive to caffeine.
Right.
Because I get sensitive, but I do get like a slump in the afternoon.
Right.
And that's like the time for me, I have to say. Because I took it yesterday in the afternoon. I was just thinking I kind of wanted to do it right now.
Yeah.
Because I just felt so much better for the rest of the day. And like I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I have all these things that I still haven't done yet.
Right.
And I like peter out, you know?
Right.
But I took the ketone IQ and then I was like, I can finish this stuff. I got it.
Amazing.
I'm good.
And listen, Olympic athletes, they work with Olympic athletes, Des Linden, Michael Andrew, and Sam Laidlow, the Ironman world champion. So if they're into it.
All right. Okay, Sam Laidlow.
I'll give it a try.
Guys, try it out. Save 30% off your first subscription order and receive a free 6-pack of Ketone IQ with ketone.com/busy. That's ketones.com/busy. KETONE.com/busy. Okay. We keep just like going off topic.
So, DNC.
And I want to get back on. Because I want to like tell you guys what it was like because it was like really intense. And it was like, it was a little bit like going to camp.
Yeah.
Like going to some sort of week-long. Yeah, it was like a week-long camp. Like, which was only really 4 days.
Yeah.
And I felt insane the entire time because I was so tired and so jet lagged and emo. All right. So I guess I kind of do have to tell this part too. Ow! Oh my God. You guys, stop it.
You still need that ADHD chair.
I really do. You guys, Casey just saw what happened and it was not cute. Okay. So, the DNC. Let's get into the fucking DNC.
Yes.
What just occurred to me though, as we were talking about this, is like yesterday, the Harris campaign asked me if I could go somewhere and do a little thing. And then I realized that I didn't respond. So I need to do that. So I was asked by this organization called the Creative Coalition to go with them to the DNC. And the Creative Coalition is an organization that has existed for quite some time, 30 years.
Yeah.
With the goal of like trying to politically impart, it's a nonpartisan organization, but impart the importance of funding for the arts at the government level. So like the National Endowment of the Arts, keeping art funding alive in schools and federal funding and state funding for schools and stuff like that. Like for art programs, theater, art, music, etc. Like their whole goal is to like educate and mobilize people into understanding the importance of art, which, like, by the way, fundamentally, I truly, deeply believe in, because I really think that art, whatever kind of art it is, but especially like when you're talking about writing, creative writing, which, you know, varying degrees on whether people believe that's art, but like, I mean, plays, TV shows, acting, music, like all of these things help to develop empathy in children, especially because they're exposed to other ways of viewing the world through other lenses and they're exposed to other worlds that they might not be privy to otherwise. And obviously we know that the arts funding is like the first thing to fucking go, continues to be. Meanwhile, they're like, I mean, bless Kamala. The speech was fucking incredible, but like the most lethal army in the world. I was like, okay.
Right.
All right. And okay. All right, baby.
Right.
Be great if some people had some empathy too. And maybe, anyway. So the Creative Coalition, I guess, goes to the DNC. They were at the RNC apparently with some people too.
Okay.
And they kind of like go to these different events within the DNC. So here's how it works. I'm just going to give you like basically my understanding of it for all of us at home who maybe don't, like, because I didn't know before.
Yeah.
And, you know, also understand that this is now me having been sort of pretty deeply ensconced in activism and political work now since like 2015.
Yeah.
So like I didn't go to the convention in 2016, but I was a surrogate for Hillary. I traveled and gave stump speeches. Okay. So like I'm pretty like all these things are like such a shit show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you do. It's wild. So there are all these events, all these different organizations, all these different investors and companies and maybe like lobbies or I don't even fucking know.
Yeah,
but like and so many organizations. So organizations that you've never heard of, huge organizations, and everything in between. And all of them descend upon Chicago for 5 days, and they set up shop. And there's like an expo hall. There's the meeting of the delegates, which is important because every state has their delegates, and the delegates are the ones that decide who the nominee should be, and they cast their votes. And if you didn't see the Georgia casting their votes with Lil Jon,
amazing.
Highly recommend the watch.
Amazing.
It really gave me chills. It was so fun. So much fucking fun. I still don't fully understand the delegate system in and of itself, truly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's complicated, and it's probably slightly different for every state, the way that delegates are chosen. I've applied to be a delegate in the past for Connecticut, and I never got to be one. So I don't know much more beyond that you have to apply.
Well, I'm sure some of you listening are delegates. I'm sure some of you listening were there as delegates.
I'm sure.
And that's exciting for me. So anyway, the Creative Coalition had asked if I wanted to go. I had said yes. I think I said yes. I think I'd said yes before Kamala had even... before the whole thing had happened, because they asked me a while ago. Because I wanted to go. I've never been, and I just sort of wanted to go, and I thought it would be a good way for me to go. Even though I've never worked with the Creative Coalition before, I have friends that have done stuff with them, and I fundamentally am down with the cause, you know. So I thought it would be like a good way for me to do it. For my first time at the Democratic National Convention. So, but then in addition to that, because I do all this other stuff, I had other asks of me from people that I work with. So I did a thing with Act Blue, a podcast thing for them. And then I did about activism. And then I moderated a panel for Meteor and Emerge, called Abortion is on the Ballot, or abortion is the issue we're voting for, or something like that. That was great, and that was live streamed, and I thought it was a really good panel.
Yeah.
And then I had and then I spoke for the campaign at the Veterans Council meeting.
Okay.
The armed services and current serving veterans and their families council meeting, which are delegates who are also veterans of our military.
Nice.
And they were incredible. That was really nice, that council meeting. And it was nice to see that side of it, because I was talking to someone at some point and they were like, so abortion's really just your thing. And I'm like, well, I mean, okay, I guess people are really just my thing.
Right.
Ensuring that people are treated well and have health care and access and equality. Right. And I do have to say, when the Harris campaign asked if I could speak at the Veterans Council meeting, the Armed Services Veterans and Active Members, whatever, council meeting, I was a little bit like, me? Really?
Well, yeah, because, I get that. You're not in the military, so you probably were
Casey, I'm not in the military.
Never say never.
You know what line they really enjoyed?
What?
When I said, aside from my one day of tactical gun training that I did for a television show for a scene that was cut, I genuinely cannot imagine what you go through.
Oh my gosh.
But the Creative Coalition had several planned events that we were going to as their we were surrogates for them, sort of, their delegates.
Right.
And so our job was to kind of go to these different luncheons. There are all these events, and people, you look at the schedule and people decide which ones they want to go to. And you have to you either apply or you RSVP if you've been directly invited, and then you get in or you don't get in or whatever. And that's why I'm saying it's like a shit show, because people are just sort of constantly figuring out where they're going next.
Yeah, it's like the Comic-Con of politics.
It is the Comic-Con of politics.
You might not get in to see 100%. The cast of Star Trek.
I also have never been to Comic-Con. So
I went one time for 5 minutes. I brought Lincoln, and then I was like, you're old enough to do this by yourself. I'm going out of this place.
You're like, bye. I get it. I felt a little bit like that at the DNC. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So the Creative Coalition. So there was a lunch for one thing, and then there was another thing, and then there was another thing. And our job was to sort of go, we gave a little thing, a little presentation thing, which felt kind of funny. And the group was a real motley crew. Which also made me lol endlessly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Our friend Yvette Nicole Brown has been very active with this Creative Coalition for so long.
Yeah.
And I think Tim Daly is the president, but I do feel when he's ready to step down, he's been the president for a really long time, the actor Tim Daly. But I think that Nicole probably would be next in line for the throne of president of the Creative Coalition. She's just very active, and she's the best. She's just the best. Yeah. It makes sense. But young Sheldon was there. It was Jesse Tyler Ferguson and his husband Justin, who I'm very good, been friends with for many years.
Yeah.
And Justin Matika's business partner, Todd Hawkins, who became we were the foursome. I was obsessed with those guys, and also have always been obsessed with those guys. Uzo Aduba, who also we had never really hung out before. I think we met once, and I'm obsessed with Uzo. This guy, Chris Wataski, who's on The Bear.
Okay.
And his opener to me was we have so many people in common. And then he mentioned my ex-boyfriend's name. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I think he could tell, because then later he was just yeah, I mean, I don't, I was okay. But still, I really liked him a lot. Denai Guria.
All right.
She is in Walking Dead stuff. I'm she's in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Walking Dead. Anyway, she was rad, and she brought her cousin, I think, was her cousin, and this woman, Christine, who was incredible, and we were all obsessed with Christine. There were several other people. Oh, Anthony Anderson was there.
Amazing.
Who was hilarious.
Yeah.
And was kind of cracking me up the whole time. Because he was getting mad at me and Jesse, because every time we would get to the convention, Jesse and I would just split and ditch the group. And run off on our own. But this is the thing. It was very complicated. You have passes to the convention, but then there's there are suites, but the suites are all not owned, but I guess whatever.
They're
the
designated by
designated.
Yeah.
The suites are all designated for different organizations or investors or donors, not investors. They don't call them fucking investors. Jesus, busy. Donors, big donors.
Right.
Or groups or politicians.
Yeah.
At one point on accident, we like ended up in Doug Emhoff's personal suite. Jesse.
On accident.
Well, I didn't, it wasn't my choice. I didn't pick it, but Jesse and Justin, like Justin is a consultant in PR. So like he like knows all of these people. And so he was there and they were like, come to this suite, there's room. And then I show up and there's like Secret Service out front. And I was like, I guess I'm supposed to come in here. And I go in and it was fully like Doug Emhoff's like his group chat guys.
Oh my God.
It was like his group chat guys and their kids.
Yeah.
And like me. I felt so awkward and embarrassed. I was like, I'm really not supposed to be in this suite.
I knew
right
you
now.
were in a lot of suites because I kept getting messages from people being
I met
like,
so many people that knew you.
so many people were like, Busy's in the suite next to me. And I was like, she's hitting up a lot of suites.
Honey, you got to get into a suite. First of all, it's where the fucking food was. Secondly, you want to sit down, you need to be in a suite.
Yes. Yeah, just like at a
I
concert.
wasn't wandering around the whole time. I got to sit.
You met
I'm
my
a
friend
lady.
Heather.
I met your friend Heather. So cute. We took a picture. I'll send you a picture. I forgot to send it to you.
So cute. Heather
Well, you couldn't send. There was no like reception. You know, everybody's trying to send things. So like my stories weren't loading. It was just like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Heather,
like,
just for context, works in politics. And I've known her for years. And when I moved to Los Angeles to work with Busy and left my house empty back in Connecticut, she had gotten like a New York-based political job, and she was looking for, which politics doesn't pay a lot, by the way. You know, so you can't just like automatically rent a place in town, you know, wherever. Anyway, she was looking for a place to live and having a hard time finding an apartment in the city. And my son was going to be moving back into our house in Connecticut over his summer break. And so I proposed to Heather that she be my son's roommate at our house in Westport. And so that's why they lived a real life sitcom, a college sophomore and an adult political staffer.
it really is a sitcom. I do think you could sell it. I'm not going to lie.
She would be texting me gossip about Eli. Eli would be texting me gossip about her. It kept me very connected to the East Coast. But anyway, you met her. She came in to say hi to you.
No, I went on like, maybe it was the last day. It might've been the last day. I think it was. I went to the like creators lounge for like the TikTok kids.
Oh yeah.
They invited like all the TikTokers and all those kids.
It was so smart. It was
so fucking smart. And they had like dedicated areas and they had dedicated suites. Those
Amazing.
Kids.
Yeah.
It was on the fucking top floor of the center of the United Center. And the elevators were such a cluster that I fucking hoofed it up 8 floors. But I did think it was important. I like had talked to my friend Genevieve Roth, who's like a consultant and I had met during the Hillary stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, I do think it's important. I think it's important to like show up to the creators lounge, like for people like you and Sophia Bush and, you know, Zach Quinto. And like, it's just important for you guys to do it. To like, but not for ourselves.
No, it's just like, listen, these people have huge platforms. They put a lot of work into what they do. And so I think to like show that respect, like pay your respects and show up and say, hey, is very cool.
I know. And like do a fucking weird dance or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I did say to the one girl, I'm like, I unfortunately am not going to be able to do a weird dance because my daughter will murder me. That's not going to happen. But so we like do these events during the day. It was like, I was very tired. I didn't even get into the part, guys, that I alone took Birdie back to boarding school in Sweden. And we left On Friday, first we went to Disney World for her 16th birthday.
16th birthday.
Crazy. So we first went to Disney World for her 16th birthday. On her actual 16th birthday, August 13th, it was so hot and fun, but very hot. We were there for 2 days, but like flew in the day before and left the next day. So like 4 days. Came back to New York, packed this kid up in a day and a half.
Wow.
And on the 16th, on Friday the 16th, Birdie and I flew to Sweden. We landed the day of the 17th. We did a few errands. I walked around Stockholm. On Sunday, we moved her into her dorm. On Sunday afternoon, she said, I am definitely not staying here. We had a bit of a meltdown. And by we, I mean me. But also I was like, okay, but it was also a meltdown.
Yeah.
And also I knew she did want to stay, but there was like, it was a lot. And she was jet lagged and exhausted. And I was jet lagged and exhausted. And then she just was like, it's too hard to know that you're going back to a hotel in Stockholm and you're not leaving until tomorrow morning. It's like too upsetting to me. I don't want to stay without you tonight if you're going to be here. And I was like, okay, do you want to just come with me to my hotel tonight and like sleep with me in bed one more night? And then I'll drop you off and I'll go to the airport. And she's like, yeah, that's what I want. And I was like, okay, but like, I really can't have debate about this tomorrow morning because I got to go to the airport and like can't miss my flight because she's like, I know, Mom, you're going to the DNC. Going to the DNC. Which also is like, every time I say it reminds me of a DNC, which is what dilation and cuttage, which is like an abortion procedure that they do when you are miscarrying.
Yeah.
That's illegal. That is banned in 14 states currently. Anyway, she was like, yes, I can do that. And I was like, okay. So she came back with me, stayed in the hotel. She ate pasta in bed. We woke up super early the next day. She put on her school uniform. I dropped her off. Like we had moved her into her dorm. So all her stuff was like put away. Everything was good. Moved her. I walked her in. I said hi to the house parents and hi to a couple of her friends. And she like hugged me so quickly. And then was like, okay, bye. Like ran off. Just got to go to breakfast and got to go to class. Okay. And then I got in my European rental car and listened to Taylor Swift and like sobbed and drove to the airport. And then I got to the airport. And then, because I had not purchased a fancy lay down flat seat because I know Casey just made a face like that is so unlike you.
I'm feeling through, I'm channeling, it is so unlike you. It's very like me, and I would have been miserable. So I can only imagine you were miserable.
Well, but then I thought I got the upgrade. And I was like so fucking excited because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I got to like, you know, when you fly internationally, sometimes in Sweden, you like check in and then you have to go to the gate and they sort of like check you in again.
Yeah.
At the gate. Then you go through customs and then you have to go through the gate, whatever. And when I got to the gate, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. There's been a mistake.
Oh, no.
And they took away my upgrade and they put me back. And I started crying like a crazy person. And then I was like, this is so embarrassing. This isn't really about the seat. I mean, it is, but also it's not. But also it is. What?
There's every chance you would have cried in the lay flat seat. But
I would have been laying down.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh my God. It was And then bless her heart, 90% sure the woman sitting next to me had COVID. She was wearing a mask, thank God, but just fucking coughing the whole time. I didn't have a mask on me, which was stupid because I always have one when I'm flying.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I got a new backpack before I left. So like, it didn't have all my accoutrement in it.
Right.
All my travel things that I normally have.
Yikes.
Did have the crystals, but didn't have, but like, anyway. So needless to say, I arrive in New York. I'm fucking tired. I have like a meltdown packing for the DNC. I'm just like setting the scene so you understand how exhausted I was during that time. But it was like so fun and energizing and incredible. And also I was so tired. And yeah. So like the hustle becomes like you get into the arena for the actual event. You like get into the arena and then you're sort of like hustling to get different passes for suite levels.
To get closer so that you down to the floor.
Or on the floor. Like if you want to be on the floor pass, like if you want the floor pass. I had a floor pass, but Jesse and I quickly learned something I forget because I've known Jesse now over 20 years, I think.
Yeah.
We've known each other. Yeah, 20. I think we've known each other about 20 years.
Wow.
And something I forget is that he is on one of certainly maybe the most popular television show in the world.
He's very famous. Yeah.
Totally fucking sometimes I forget.
Well, and it's also he acts so regular. He's just like a regular guy and a friend. He's always been so nice to me. And then I forget that he's friends with the most famous people in the world. And he just acts like everyone's the same. And he acts so regular and normal.
But also like, I'm friends with fucking famous people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And like, but there's a difference between like Oscar nominee actress extraordinaire Michelle Williams and Cam and Mitch from Modern Family.
Yeah, I mean, like that, just the sheer recognition.
They're in your fucking living room.
Everybody's home, everybody's living room, and that makes everybody feel like, they know you. You're their friend.
I mean, they know you.
Yeah,
you're their friend. And they
so
and well, I was like laughing at one point too because I was like, Jesse, if one more person comes up and acts as if it's wild that they love watching your show, like the tenors of a lot of the people coming up to him would be like, oh my gosh, listen, my family loves watching Modern Family, and I'm like, you don't say. Really? They do?
Oh,
literally the most beloved sitcom of the last 20 years? Huh. How crazy. Who would have thought? With more Emmys than any sitcom ever? Huh. Wild that you and your family love it.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I wasn't an asshole, guys. Don't worry. I just thought it was funny. But so like the floor wasn't really an option for Jesse. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's like famous people at Comic-Con. They can't just walk around.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I don't get the same kind of thing. Like 100% don't. I get a lot. Some people were, there were podcast listeners. There were that were there. Hi, friends. There were political, like people like up in the suites that were working on political, like in different political campaigns and offices and stuff that listened to the pod, which was cute too.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was nice.
Hi to all of you. And thank you for all of your hard work if you're listening to this one.
I was very excited to get back to my home and my cozy sheets.
Oh,
because
that's the hardest thing about traveling is being away from those sheets.
I really love my bowl and branch. I really love that I am not hot when I sleep with my bowl and branch sheets. They're just like cool and crisp and organic cotton. And it's just a naturally cooling weave. And I just love it.
They also have linen, which is made from European flax, and it's so light. And so, I mean, you just think of linen in summer. It's made for summer. Those sheets are amazing.
And they use, they've got this the 100% organic cotton. They use the highest quality thread on earth. The signature sheets come in 10 versatile colors and all sizes, twin up to California king. Really, you can feel the quality immediately. They get softer every wash. Genuinely, they help me stay cool at night, which I deeply appreciate.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous. They look
really
amazing.
Yeah.
They look like crisp and perfect and cute and like just amazing. I have a couple different sets now.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. Boll and Branch sheets are loved by millions of people. They fit the deepest of mattresses and they are labeled top and bottom, which is amazing.
It's genius.
Because so then you know where the top is and where the bottom is. Which the top sheet is and which the bottom sheet is. So it's easy.
Yeah.
And they also give you 30 nights for free, guaranteed, free shipping and free returns. Like in case you're like, this isn't working for me. Okay. Right. But it's going to work for you. So don't worry about it. I love it. I say get your coolest, most comfortable sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets when you use promo code BUSY at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, Branch, BRANCH.com. Promo code BUSY for 15% off plus free shipping. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Oh, we're really talking about sleeping today and doing lots of things in your bed. Listen, you guys,
you must have missed your Helix mattress.
If you get that Helix mattress, boy, you're on a roll. Do you know they're fiberglass free?
Oh, thank goodness.
I know. I'm trying to get all the bad stuff out of my everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Out of your house.
Everywhere. But Helix owns its own manufacturing facility, which is entirely free from products containing fiberglass. There's no fiberglass. There have been a number of health issues and lawsuits related to fiberglass in mattresses. So sleep easy, guys, when you order your new Helix mattress, because Helix doesn't use it. It's not going to be in it. Not even going to get in it from something else. There's no fiberglass.
It seems weird to put a fiberglass in a mattress, but also, honey, you don't think about it. We think so much about the creams that we're rubbing into our skins and like what we're washing our laundry with. But you lay on that mattress. You have more contact with that mattress than anything in life.
Yeah, you better make sure that it's non-toxic and it's not like putting fiberglass into your body while you sleep.
Boo.
Boo. Well, let's talk about the other wonderful things about Helix, because there are so many. We've been such a fan of Helix for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I just would offer to you guys, how are you in the market for a new mattress? How long has it been? Maybe you are and you didn't even know that it's time to get a new mattress. Here's why Helix is the best, because their lineup is over 20 unique mattresses. They have the Luxe collection, award-winning Luxe collection, ultra premium elite collection, Helix Plus, mattress designed for big and tall sleepers. They've got a kids mattress. How do you know which one is for you? You take a sleep quiz and then they tell you what your perfect mattress is going to be in under 2 minutes. Your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door. And because Helix is the best and this is their business, they know there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it. You can't go to a stupid mattress store and lie down on something for 10 minutes and know that you're going to sleep well on it. I'm sorry.
You can't.
You just can't.
It's like an out-of-body experience. It's not normal to do that. And so
how
you
would
can't
you ever
even tell
relax.
You can't relax
in front of
some
someone else.
Man in a polo shirt asking how it feels.
I mean, no, you cannot. You definitely cannot. That's why Helix offers a 100-night trial, 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. They've got all kinds of things. And if your spine needs some extra TLC, they got you. Every Helix mattress has a hybrid design and combines individually wrapped steel coils in the base with premium foam layers on top. It's a perfect combination of comfort and support. So this is the best mattress that I've ever had. Also, it was just fast and easy. I wasn't freaking out because I knew that if I didn't like it, I could send it back. I had 100 nights to try it out. Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress picked by GQ and Wired magazine and is recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. I'm telling you, if you're having issues sleeping, probably stop drinking wine at night, but then also get a new mattress. Get a Helix mattress.
Good advice.
Is what I'm saying. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. We've got an amazing offer for you. Helix is offering 25% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for you, our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/best. That's helixsleep.com/best. This is their best offer yet. It's not going to last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. But yeah, so like the hustle was real for us to like, and Sophia Bush and her crew were like definitely helpful.
Yeah.
I love Sophia. She's incredible.
Oh, she's amazing. She's the best.
I know, she really is the best. Also, I'm such an idiot because like she also is very, very famous in a way that I wasn't prepared for.
Right.
I forgot she's on all those Chicago shows.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot.
Yeah, she has like the
in my head, she's like
generational fame.
No, I know. And in my head, it's like One Tree Hill, her podcast, and like all the political work she does. Because it's like, that's how like she and I are friends, like from that world.
Yeah.
And I fully fucking forgot that I'm such an idiot. I was like, why are you so famous? I literally said that to her. And I'm such an idiot. But like Chicago PD is like.
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
It's like a huge deal. And like, I'm just looking, Chicago PD. Yeah, I mean, it's been on forever. Anyway, I love her. She's incredible. She could definitely run for office. I would vote for her 100%.
Oh, yeah.
She's so smart. She's just the best.
Yeah.
And then Wilson Cruz and Zach Quinto, my friend Zach Quinto.
I love Wilson Cruz. And Zach's great too.
Zach is amazing. Zach and I are good friends. I had met Wilson a couple times. I love him, and he does so much work for, all kind, like for LGBTQIA plus rights. Yeah. And he shows up for campaigns, and he travels, and he is like he is like, where do you need me? Put me in. I'm ready to be there. Yeah. And actually, okay. So now I've been talking a long time. Should I just tell you my highlights? My moments that were the highlights?
Whatever you want. We haven't talked in a long time. You can talk as long as you want.
Okay. Highlights include, but are not limited to. All right. My first highlight happened at one of those luncheons.
Okay.
And Congressman from New York, Jerry Nadler, was at one of these luncheons. There were different representatives at all of these different things we were going to.
Yeah.
Lots of governors from across the country. I didn't run into Katie Hobbs from Arizona, so I was bummed about that. Other people ran into her. I wanted to be able to say hi because when she was running to be elected, I did some Zoom stuff for her, but we never met in person. Jamie Harrison and I, who I also did so much Zoom fundraising and stuff for in the 2020 election.
I remember.
When he was running for Senate in South Carolina. Yeah. But he and I and then now he's the chair of the DNC. Right. He and I had never met in person until the convention. And really, Jamie Harrison's suite became the suite I was most in. His with his like family.
Yeah.
But Jamie Harrison is like an incredible, brilliant person and politician. And I really believe in him still to this day. And I feel like we were really close with him back then in 2020. And,
agree.
And I'm glad that he has such a high up position in the Democratic Party because he deserves it. And I hope to see him hold other offices in the future. So that was a highlight, meeting Jamie. Okay. But at one of the lunches, Congressman Jerry Nadler was there, and he is a congressman from New York. He is 77 years old. I looked it up. So when I testified before Congress in 2019, Jerry Nadler was the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, which he was until 2023. So he was there.
Right.
And anyway, I was talking to his chief of staff at the lunch, and he was sitting down. Also, blessed, because I totally get it now. Like the representatives that are like coming to a bunch of a lot of these luncheons, like they sit and they fucking eat. Because if they don't, they're not eating.
Right. It's like, it's not like the Disney character breakfast where
they roam around. No. You have to roam around.
Right.
They have to sit and like eat their food because then they're like whisked off to like 47 billion other things.
Right.
And if they don't eat,
Right.
But so he was sitting at a table. I started chatting with what turned out to be his chief of staff. I said, "Oh, I love Congressman Nadler. I actually might be my congressman in New York." But also, when I testified in Congress, and the man he was like, "I remember that. I remember you being there." And I remember that session. That was a special session that was very early. He's like, had the extreme abortion bans even happened yet? And I said, well, yes, they had, because the first two had been passed. Georgia had just signed it into law. I talked on Busy Tonight about my abortion. Casey and I carefully crafted that little speech about that. And then that was in June of 2019 that Planned Parenthood asked me to go on their behalf and speak to that special session. And he's like, well, you should come say hello to the congressman. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So he brings me over, and like, of course, also like these politicians are being like, people are just being like shuffled in front of them nonstop all day long. And interestingly, while I was having this interaction with the congressman, another representative from somewhere else came up to try to lobby for something that she wants to have happen.
Interesting.
Which is like so fascinating.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, like in the middle of our conversation, this woman comes up and she's like, hi, so sorry to interrupt, Congressman. I'm so-and-so from so-and-so. I'm the chair of the act of to make sure that there's like this and there. I hope that we can get your approval on that.
Right.
It's so interesting. It was like interesting, you know? You kind of have to be a little bit of a hustler. It's like
a pitch fest. It's like an elevator pitch.
Elevator pitches, 100%. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, he brings me over. I'm like, Congressman Adler, so nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, so nice to meet you. His chief of staff sort of does like is like, Busy Phillips is an actress who also testified before Congress and da-da-da-da-da. And he said, oh, okay, good. Whatever. Like, he's like, this guy fucking cares. And I said, actually, Congressman, I do want to say, I was really terrified. I was really nervous testifying before Congress. It was only sort of the second time I had publicly talked about having an abortion when I was a kid in Arizona. And I was especially nervous because everybody had warned me about Gohmert and about how hard the Republicans might go for me because I was an actress. But I remember in the opening statements listening to you speak about the history and how you had been there every step of the way and how you would continue to be there every step of the way fighting for our right to bodily autonomy and to abortion. And it made me feel so comforted to know that there were people like you that were serving and were committed to it. And I got like a little emotional, obviously. I'm getting kind of emotional right now. And he was like, I want to tell you a story. And he like motioned for me to sit. And so the other guy that was like with him, like was like, just take the seat, and got up. And he proceeded to tell me this story about when he was elected to New York State Senate in 1970.
Yeah.
And New York was trying to pass a law that said that people could get abortion. It was largely illegal in the United States.
Right.
And it was illegal in New York in 1970. Roe, obviously, was 2 years later, 1972. The Roe v. Wade decision. And so on the floor of the Senate, there was this, he tells me, there was this very Catholic Republican state senator who, during the discussion, the debate, and right before the voting, basically said, well, this is false. Because what the bill was initially was like a kind of restrictive abortion law, where it would be like more like what some of these bans are, like in some of these places. Like abortion is legal in certain cases, but not really, you know? Mm-hmm. And that was like what it was at first. And this Republican state senator stood up and was like, well, this is false, because you should just put what it is that you want. And what you want is abortion for anyone on demand. And we should change the bill. And that's what the bill should be. And so the Democrats had a choice, and they were like, okay, let's change the bill. And what they ended up structuring was, I think, 25 weeks was what he said. And it largely became, I mean, this decision in New York like became very important in the Roe v. Wade decision.
Yeah.
And so they changed the bill on the floor, and they vote on it. And it goes to the House. And so then the House has to vote on it. And it comes up, and it's like, because of the way that they had a Republican governor at the time, Rockefeller. Guys, fucking Rockefeller. It was a Rockefeller. Because of the way, like the balance of power or whatever, basically they needed 76 yay to 73 nay.
Okay.
They take the vote. They have 75. The Speaker of the House can vote, but the Speaker of the House is Republican, because I think it was, I don't know why, whatever. But because they had changed the bill on the floor, the Speaker could have thrown it out because they didn't have the votes. But because they had just changed the bill, apparently what the Speaker says is, this is a new bill, essentially, with new terms. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to all go lobby for what you want. And we're going to come back and we're going to take the vote again in 2 weeks. They come back to take the vote again. 2 weeks later, it's 75. It's the same fucking vote. And they are about to call it, and a man stands up. And he says, Mr. Speaker, stop. And it is a state representative from a largely conservative and Catholic-held district. His name was George Michaels. I know because I looked it up after, because when he said it to me, I thought, surely he's mistaken. And George Michaels stands up and says, essentially, Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that what I'm about to do is going to effectively end my political career. But I cannot in good conscience cast this vote. Women are dying. They deserve to have equality. I am asking you to change my vote to yay.
Wow.
And at this point, Congressman Nadler and I are both crying. Like, as he's recounting this to me.
Yeah.
And he said it was the single most selfless act he had ever witnessed a politician make in his career, knowing that he was fucking done. And he was.
Yeah.
He was done. Like, the party, like 2 weeks later, like, disavowed him.
Yeah.
His own party. And they, like, it was over.
Yeah.
But that he realized the gravity of the situation and how important it was in this moment to do.
And also what he was there for.
And also what he was there for.
What he was there for.
What he was there for. And it was a story I've never heard. I didn't know.
Right.
And this man, this, you know, Representative Jerry Nadler from New York, who has dedicated his entire life to public service, recounting to me in such fucking detail that story, and feeling as emotional today as he clearly felt back then, and knowing that his job is to fight for everyone and showing up for that. That was the moment that I had the most hope in our system and our democracy.
Such a fitting story. I'm so glad he was able to share that with you. It's such a great story for the moment, because we're talking about putting your own thoughts aside, putting your own ambitions aside, putting your own fears aside, and doing what people are asking you to do, what your constituents are asking you to do. And as you're telling this story, I'm like, God, yeah, there was a time when somebody would stand up and be like, not only am I fucking my whole career, but also this is something that I personally probably don't even really want or think is the thing, but everybody's telling me that this is what we need to do. You know, like, as we were saying, I've changed my mind. I see it differently now.
My mind. Well, what's interesting is that I looked it up after, obviously. Oh, so then I like walked away and like fully sobbed. Like, it was like, it was like just incredible. I mean, also like that he was crying, telling me the story was really moving. Like, it was really incredible. Like, it was like a really,
so glad you got to have that moment.
Really fucking incredible moment.
Yeah.
But what was my point? What was I saying?
You said you looked it up later.
Oh, I looked it up later. There's a short documentary about that representative, about that state senator, George Michaels. If you Google it, like there's like a New Yorker article, short article, and like this little short, like 20-minute documentary about that guy and about that vote. Wow. But what was so interesting were all the details that Representative Nadler had told me that like I couldn't find kind of anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause from his perspective, how it went and what was happening. So the little short documentary is really about that representative, that state senator, and like the fallout after, and about his family, and the fact that, and this is why I bring it up. This is the import of the story. Other than the fact that like there are good people in public service and good politicians, and like also no one is all one thing. So,
right.
You know, whatever. His children had changed his mind. His kids had talked to him over those 2 weeks. It wasn't the fucking political lobbies. It wasn't the people it wasn't the Democrats lobbying him in the state Senate. It wasn't other politicians. It wasn't other adults. It was his children. It was his 2 kids.
Well, I think that in that is a really important lesson about all of the things we've been talking about. And I think it's why, Busy, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but I'm going to pat us on the back. When you talked about your abortion on Busy tonight, we had like consulted with people that work in this space because we wanted to get the facts out about what was happening. And then we also wanted you to be able to tell your story in the way that you wanted to tell your story. But then I remember that we wrote this really long, like it was a really long, like it was probably good. It was probably like a good impassioned speech. But then we were like, this show's only 22 minutes long and we have a lot of other things we need to get to. Let's just get to the nugget of it. And I'm so happy that we hit on this, which was that one of the facts that we had been given is that 1 in 4 women before the age of 40 will have an abortion or need abortion care. Mm-hmm. And so what we were saying, we were like, let's just boil it down to this. You might think that it doesn't affect you and that you don't know anyone, but you know me. And 1 in 4 women that you know, if you can count, if you know 8 women, you know 2 women. If you know 12 women, you know 3 women who will need abortion care before age 40. So I think this is a really important lesson. And what we're talking about now about like pulling moderate women in to vote for Harris Walz in this presidential election. This is what gets people to listen. You're right. It's not lobbying. It's the people in your life.
It's the people in your life. And it's also like, I've had conversations with people in the last several weeks, month-ish, where I do think there's just power in saying to people who love you, but you love me. Why are you voting for somebody who doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't think that I deserve to exist, or that my kid deserves to live the way they want to live, or that my health should be dictated by the state.
Right.
And I think it's incredibly powerful that the DNC chose to have these amazing women. I've become friendly with Amanda Zarowski from Texas. Caitlin Joshua is also just fucking amazing from Louisiana.
That was a really incredible. They all did an amazing job.
Yes, and I think it's incredible. And also, there's no. These are the literal victims of these laws being in place. Yeah. But there are also 15-year-old girls who are being forced to carry children that are being forced to carry children to term, that deserved the right I had, that deserve to have their life on their fucking terms. And they are victims as well. And there are 22-year-olds. There are 33-year-olds who are not having the kind of medical devastation, maybe, in terms of like what Amanda went through, almost losing her life. Right. And also Caitlin being told just to go home with prayers.
Right.
While she was bleeding out
Right. And by the way, there's also 48 and 49 and 50-year-olds.
100%. No, I'm just saying like a little bit for me, I understand that for some people who consider themselves anti-abortion or whatever, that they look at what is happening in terms of women with very wanted pregnancies being denied care, and they're able to be like, oh, wait, that's weird. No, we shouldn't do that.
Right.
I'm saying I would have gone a step further and like, I would have fucking asked me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would have, or someone else who was like, I don't know. I don't fucking know the person, but find somebody who was like, I was 33. I had 3 children. I was a lawyer in a firm. I accidentally got pregnant with my husband's child. There was no way we could afford another child, that I could take the time off of work, and I had 3 kids under 8. Yeah. I do not regret my abortion for 1 second.
Right.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like this is important. Like this is an important thing for everybody to continue to discuss in terms of like how it looks.
Yeah.
But I do want to just offer that again, there's also no shame in just not having a baby.
Right.
Because you're not ready. Just
right.
Or you don't want your abuser's child, or you can't afford it, or you're in school, or you're a child, or any number of fucking reasons.
Or you're a grandmother and you're done.
Or you're a grandma.
And you've been done. You know? I mean, there's a million reasons. Listen, those women's stories were so powerful, so I get like on this, but I do agree with you. I think it's so important that we just keep talking about all the reasons while also saying like, it's none of your fucking business why I want an abortion. I don't need to give you the whys and wherefores.
No. But I did like stand and cheer when Oprah said that the men and women who are speaking out now about how vital abortion is are the like new freedom fighters. I thought that was very cool.
Amazing. And I'm just gratified that people are using the word abortion.
No
because
shit.
It's taken so long to just get to this point where we're not beating around the bush about what we're talking about. So it's a really powerful inflection point, and I was really just pleased with Hillary Clinton also used the word abortion. We've come a long way in such a short time. Well,
if you get an email from me and Amanda Zarowski and Caitlin Joshua from Move On to sign a petition, you'll see. You'll just see.
Yeah.
But they had asked me, and then I was like, guys, let's include these ladies. What about it? And I texted I texted Amanda, and she was like, girl, you know it.
Amazing.
We should have her on the podcast. I love her.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah. That would be so great.
Honey love, my honey love, I love you. Oh, honey love on my body. What? Is that good?
Oh, that's very good for me.
I thought it was good. Which won you over? Which one won you over about honey love? The bras or the shapewear, honey? What is it?
Oh, it's the shapewear for me.
Me too.
It's the most comfortable shapewear I've ever worn and does the best job.
It does such a good job.
Yeah.
Why does it do the thing where it's like, it like accentuates the things I want to accentuate and smooths the things I want to have smoothed out a little, and then also doesn't give me gas?
It's just really thoughtfully designed. Like it is. They're super high quality materials. I think sometimes things aren't that thoughtfully designed, and that's why they're like pinching and binding and rolling up and making you fart, and it's bad. It's just bad. And I'm like, did a woman try this on?
Yeah, it's like will not roll down no matter how much you like writhe around on a dance floor or like in and out of an Uber. I'm telling you, it's not rolling.
You've tested it out.
I have tested it out. Honey Love Shapewear features lingerie-inspired design details that are like, TBH, kind of hot. Yeah. It's breathable fabric that keeps you cool, which is perfect for hot days. And it really has like this revolutionizing compression technology, so you don't feel like you're suffocating, but you are wearing effective shapewear that like does the trick.
Yeah.
I love the like booty lifter. They've got these like boost bands on the back of the thigh. It lifts your ass up. It's hot.
Yeah.
Like, also, we've all been there trying to take off shapewear in a bathroom with, like at an event. And you're like, Jesus, how am I even going to get this back up? Well, the Super Power Short has 100% cotton gusset. So like, that's good. And then you can skip the extra underwear, Plus, there's like an opening in the panty area, and you just got to hold it open and pee. Does it take practice? Yes. You can do it. I promise. I promise
you. can do it.
You can do it.
And also, they don't just have sculpt wear. They have super comfortable bodysuits. Their bras are really comfortable. Talk about flying on a plane. That's my plane bra. Tanks, leggings, for everything's everyday supportive. There's no reason to walk around being unsupported. Honey Love's got you.
They do got you. And I do feel like shapewear shouldn't be hard to take off or put on. Their products make you look good, feel good, and honestly, it's like a boost of confidence. Your clothes are going to look amazing with Honey Love underneath, and you're not going to feel like, oh God, I'm clearly wearing shapewear. Do you know what I mean? Like that feeling. You just don't. It's the best shapewear, guys. I'm telling you. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/best20. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/best20. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you so we get the credit. Honey, shape up your life with Honey Love. Oh, Seed. I love Seed. I love Seed. I love Seed.
I love
the
Seed
DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. I love it. I love it.
Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic benefits your gut, skin, and heart health in just 2 capsules a day. That's my 3 most pressing concerns.
That's what we need. It's what we want. It's what we want. Let me tell you something. Talk about microbiome.
Right.
You gotta do it. It's essential to whole body health. That's where Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic comes into play. Your body is an ecosystem, and a great whole body health starts in the gut. Your gut is a central hub for lots of pathways through the body, and a healthy gut microbiome means benefits for everything, not just, it's like digestion, skin health, heart health, your immune system, and also like mental health. Truly, your brain, the way your brain works. And Seed's patented capsule-in-capsule design means all 24 strains of bacteria survive the journey from shipping to your door and right through the digestion.
That's a long
And it doesn't
journey.
have no synthetic or chemical coatings, no refrigeration needed. And Seed goes the extra mile by testing their probiotics in Chyme, the closest system developed to model human digestion in the gut, to ensure 100% of the dose is delivered right where it needs to go. Guys, I love it. I love it.
Me too.
Probiotics and prebiotics work best when they're used consistently, like any other routine health habits, like walking, eating fruits and veggies. You got to stay consistent to see the benefits. Anyway, Seed's subscription service easily builds DS-01 into your routine. I have been using this all summer. I am obsessed. I think it's literally the best thing for my gut that I've done ever, maybe. Ever. I'm not kidding. Yeah. So support your gut with Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. Go to seed.com/25best and use code 25best to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic at seed.com/25best, code 25best. Okay, so Jerry Nadler.
Yeah. Highlight.
Fucking highlight. Highlight number 2. Sitting with Wilson Cruz, watching Pete Buttigieg's speech. And really taking in and contemplating when he talked about the life that he has, Pete Buttigieg, and how 25 years growing up in Ohio as a young closeted gay man with anxiety, like how could he could ever imagine what would be possible. Truly, I like just felt that so deeply for so many of my friends because I think Pete and I are very close in age.
Yeah.
Aren't we? Yeah, I think so.
Probably,
How old is Pete Buttigieg? I saw, oh, by the way, I did see they like swept by me and Chasten was like, busy, hi. I'm like, hi, Chasten.
Oh my God. I love Chasten. We follow each other in the bad place.
He's the best. They're the best. Yeah. But like, really feeling that sentiment for so many of my friends and family and living in that time where it wasn't a given that you could even be out.
I mean, you know, we've talked about this before, like my social circle, my activities as a tween it was very gay heavy. It was very,
I mean, girl, I'm a theater bitch.
I did theater, and then I also did Winter Guard and Drum and Bugle Corps, which was a lot of like gay guys. So like, this was during the AIDS crisis, and I lost friends who were under 21 years old. I lost friends every year. And I felt so fortunate because when gay marriage was legalized, I worked at Watch What Happens Live, and that also was like a very gay heavy environment. And so talk about a thing that you've just like been there, you know, like Jerry Nadler's talking about bodily autonomy for women. I feel like this is something that
I mean, you know that like I literally phone banked for No on 8, which was in California when the fucking, this is the other thing I don't understand about politics, like why groups from Utah were allowed to fund a campaign in California to overturn gay marriage, and they were successful. Like billionaires from Utah funded it. And I had just had Birdie, it's 2008, and I had her in August. And in September and October, I would go down because it wasn't, back then, guys, you couldn't just phone bank from your house.
Right, you had to go down.
To a fucking center.
Yeah.
So I would like put her in her sling next to the old Trader Joe's in West Hollywood. It's gone now, guys. It was a really janky center in West Hollywood on Santa Monica. And there was this like tiny little office in the strip mall. And I would like bounce Birdie and roll calls. And I remember talking to voters in California where they didn't understand like No on 8 was the way you wanted to vote if you wanted to keep gay marriage legal.
Right.
They thought it was yes. There was so much misinformation with that campaign. But yeah, you're right. Like we were fucking there.
Yeah.
It was important, and it was fucking important to me from having grown up with friends who were in the closet and like friends who were, and even just like, you know, and so anyway, I was sitting with Wilson. I was sitting in between Wilson and Zach, and like first of all, like openly gay actors. Yeah. You know, and especially Zach, like a leading man. Yeah. You know.
And Wilson like playing a gay kid.
This is what I said to him. Because Pete Buttigieg, in his speech, he was just like, he mentions like all of the things that helped to, and he was like, the stories that we tell, the art and the entertainment And I like put my hand on his shoulder and I said, you, Wilson, you did that. Like, you were the first like gay teenager on television, like in the 90s, and like openly and out and flamboyant and beautiful. And so many parents were able to like know Ricky, love Ricky, see their own kids reflected in Ricky.
Yeah.
And he and I both just like sat there like crying. I just felt so overwhelmed by that moment and like so proud of my friends, all of my friends.
Yeah.
For being so brave.
Yeah.
For living their truths and being who they are. So that was another highlight.
And fighting for it the whole time.
Fighting for everyone.
Yeah.
That was another highlight. Another highlight was that early in the week, or like right when I first got there, Carrie Champion texted me, my dear friend Carrie, who literally just texted me this second. So she must have known that I was about to talk about her. And she was like, obviously, I know you're going to be here. Where are you? Where are you staying? What's happening? And I like texted her back. But we like were both on different journeys. And like, so there was just like no way that I thought, you know, whereas like
connect,
that kind of thing. Like she was she was doing a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. But also I'm like, we don't need to see each other at the DNC. We like see each other in New York. It's fine. So I go into the big night, Kamala's night, which the rumors that whole night about Taylor, Beyonce, Taylor's plane is in town. Like
I heard George W. Bush was going to be there.
That's what I heard that too. It was wild. Pink was incredible, by the way. A highlight.
Amazing.
Pink.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we can't listen. You know what here's what I'm going to say. We got the art, guys. We got the best art.
Yeah.
You know? We got the singers and the songs and the artists and the people. John Legend was incredible. Joe, what did you think about that? Did you die?
I loved it. I mean, Sheila E.
Love
it. John Legend. I think John Legend does a great... And, you know, here's the thing is like you can never satisfy Prince lovers. Like, talk about people who aren't a monolith. So whenever anyone tries to do any type of tribute to Prince, it's always going to get mixed feelings. And I always think those feelings, well, we're just chalking them up to we wish he was here, you know? But I love that they did a tribute to Prince
on the Tim Walz night.
Yes, on Tim Walz night. Because, like, here's what I love. We're talking about art. We're talking about having the art. Minnesota is the most art-focused state of any state that I've been to. They most happily embrace and showcase public art. They love live music. They love just everything.
Casey, if you love Minnesota so much, why don't you marry it?
I will marry it. It's the most artsy-fartsy state in the best possible way. Like everyone, the airport, you're exposed to art. So I love how much love that state has for their hometown guy, Prince. And so I loved John Legend's tribute. And I love John Legend. He's a good egg. He's a good guy.
He is a good egg. I also loved Keenan's Project 2025 thing. It made me actually made me lol. Yeah. Like sometimes those things like mixing that stuff can be a little bit of a cringe fest, you know? And I do think it's dicey. Like I think it's got to be played just right. And Kenan Thompson, our friend Kenan Thompson, boy oh boy, was he like the exact perfect hit, the exact right note. It was fucking funny, but it like really made the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved him.
And Kerry Washington with Kamala's little teeny family members was so cute too.
That was also absolutely a fucking highlight.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so Pete Buttigieg's speech, kind of lost my mind with Tim Walz. I was like, and then when they cut to his sweet children, and then I just like started sobbing. I thought for me, the two like most powerful moments of the whole thing were, the three women who had the abortions, the woman who had been sexually abused at 12 by her stepfather, had been raped at 12 by her stepfather, and then Amanda and Caitlin, and then the gun violence.
Yeah.
Peace was like, I was like truly like tears rolling down my face watching it.
Yes.
Obviously something that affects all of us.
Right.
But Carrie Champion, I didn't have any idea. I don't know. We were just like, we texted a few times. And then Jamie Harrison's person was like, there's room. We've got seats in our suite, whatever. So I went to Jamie's suite on that last night.
Yeah.
And I see because Wilson was like, come in. And because Wilson was there. So I go in and I see Zach and Wilson. And then I'm like standing watching whatever was going on stage at the time. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, Wilson is really rubbing my back in a kind of intense way. But like, I was a little bit like, we've had this moment now the night before with Pete Buttigieg and like, or whenever that was. I don't know. I was just like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're just good friends. We're theater people. I don't know. It was fucking Carrie Champion who was like in the suite and I just hadn't seen her. And she just did that thing where she like snuck up and like, and anyway, we were dying laughing. I am obsessed with her. I love her so much.
Yeah,
she and Zach got along really well and it was cute. Everybody who meets Carrie Champion falls in love with her because she's the fucking best.
Yeah.
So that was exciting and a highlight. And then I thought Kamala knocked it out of the park.
She did. Yeah.
I thought Doug was incredible that when he did his thing, that was the night before or 2 nights before. I can't remember what night was what.
Yeah, it's all a blur.
When his like son introduced him and then they did that package, like the video.
The video package was amazing, which his ex-wife helped produce.
Right. Yeah, of course. Obviously. Yeah. Guys, here's what I'm going to say. Trust someone who is friends with their ex.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
I speak from experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
and then obviously Oprah, huge highlight for me. I lost my fucking mind.
Michelle
Obama lost my mind, was on television, gave that look, died at the look.
It's your new reaction shot. It's replacing the reaction to Moonlight at the Oscars.
Oh, totally. I do have to say, like, I just in reading, like, I know we can't read the comments, guys, but I am a little surprised by some of the comments in my feed. I am.
Okay. What are they?
That's all.
Are they?
Period. I don't have any. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Are they? They're like people are negative.
Trolly. They're a little trolly and a little bit like she doesn't even have any policies. I'm like, what are you fucking talking? What is wrong with people?
I mean, here's the thing. Is some of it trolly? And I think like the more desperate the situation becomes for people that see this slipping away from them, the more troll activity you will see. But also, I think that, well, we talk about it all the time on this podcast, right? About how repeating information, sometimes people need you to repeat information because they missed it or they, like, here's what has really struck me. A lot of people don't know what the role of the vice president is. And so a lot of people are holding Kamala responsible for policies that they think she should have had some input into with the president. And they're not even like, they're things that like, the president's not responsible for. Like, for example, a lot of people are very concerned with inflation right now. The president, just in case you thought he did, or she did, the president doesn't set the price of gas nor groceries. Those are corporations.
Yeah, by the way.
Corporations have decided that they would like to make record profits because of why ever they decide to do that. Now, can corporate greed be addressed through policy? Yes. But the president doesn't decide what your Cheerios cost. And the president doesn't decide what a gallon of gas costs.
No.
Further, the vice president supports the president's policies and can push for things and advocate for things, but the vice president doesn't set policy. So to hold Kamala Harris responsible for things that not only were they policies she couldn't or wouldn't set, but also not even things that are presidential policy. It's just this is what keeps coming home to me, is that we haven't been teaching government and civics and things in school the way that we should be, because people need a refresher.
Girl, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't even sure when Jerry Nadler was explaining to me that whole thing. I was like, oh, right. States also have a Congress and a Senate. Right. I literally was like, oh, right. It does have to go through two. Right. Okay.
Listen, it's complicated as hell.
I mean, right. A lot of us are they make it complicated on purpose, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But also, it's not that complicated.
Right. And by the way, it's not that complicated to Google Kamala Harris's platform. It's online. So
I know.
If you want to say that and someone sends you you could have Googled it yourself. But if someone wants to send you the link and you still want to say there are no policies, that's just because you just want to say a thing that's not true. And I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do about that. Then you are a troll.
Well, that's, I guess, what I'm so surprised by, that there are still so many people that are trolly. I was really heartened by, I thought it was lame I thought it was bad that they didn't, I'm going to use the word bad. Yeah. I thought it fucking sucked that they did not let the Palestinian representative speak. I really did. I think they should have, I read the speech on the Meteor. I definitely feel that it's a valuable perspective. There are lots of Palestinian Americans. It's a complicated issue. Our government has obviously a vested interest in Israel, and as the quote, leaders of the free world or whatever, we need to make sure that we fight for the protection and the freedom of all people and make sure that people are not suffering the way that the innocent people of Gaza have been suffering so horrendously. So I do think it was, I wish they would have made room for that in the program. I really do.
Yeah, I just have looked at it it was a complicated situation. And whatever reasoning, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming they had some type of reasoning, not to just shut people down. They must have had their reasons to say no.
Well, one of them might have been, and I don't know if they've given any statements on what the reasoning was, or if anyone's responded from the DNC. That program was so fucking tightly produced and very clear, and every night had its thing. A theme and a thing and a through line and a thread and a fucking whatever. So I don't know. This is just conjecture. I have no fucking idea.
I heard a lot of things. I heard that the request came very late.
That's what I was. Yeah, I didn't know if that was possible. But also, I don't know. I just think it would have been. I think it would have been really a very strong move in like, not in like a way of like making a move. Like, I just mean in a very complicated situation that a lot of people have their eyes on, and there are, you know, again, worldwide, there is lots of horrific things. There are lots of horrific things happening worldwide.
Yeah.
That all deserve like our attention and consideration.
Yeah.
I know it's complicated.
Here's what I'll say. It sounds like it was complicated. I don't know why they made the call that they did. Like I said, like maybe there's information that we don't know. And then there's like, again, as I was saying, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about why they feel like they weren't able to accommodate that request. Here's what I will say. While a Palestinian American didn't speak, I was glad that people spoke up on behalf of.
Me too. And I thought that Kamala's change in the way that she spoke about it, I mean, it's not for me to say.
Right.
But it isn't at all.
Right.
But I appreciated sort of a change in what I feel like I had been hearing.
Yeah.
To what
and I hope
that
like going forward that a trust is built and that we're able to answer these questions in a way that is productive and helpful to the people that are suffering.
Man.
Yeah.
That's fucking rough.
Yeah.
So yes. So there was that. And then I don't know, there were so many highlights. I loved that Republican guy. I can't ever remember his name, but he's cute.
Oh yeah.
He's that Republican. Is he like a senator? Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger. I kind of fucking love Adam Kinzinger. He can kind of get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you know what I was trying to really consider if I had ever fucked a Republican.
Oh.
I've really been trying to rack my brain, and I think probably in high school, yes, because Arizona.
You lived in Arizona, so
yeah. I think the guy that knocked me up is probably a Republican.
Yeah,
considering his fake cease and desist letter he sent me.
Probably not like probably not a good Republican. I feel like we've all probably had sex with apathetic, pitiful Republicans for the most part.
I mean, that guy's just an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And by good Republican, I mean like Republican that other Republicans would think were good. There are no good Republicans except for maybe Adam Kinzinger, but even him, I don't 100% trust.
No, I don't either. Listen, no. Adam Kinzinger can fucking get it. Let's not fuck Republicans, but he could fucking get it.
I've seen a lot of TikToks recently about how Gavin Newsom can also get it. I think people didn't know that Gavin Newsom was like handsome. Like,
dude, he's always been the fucking hottest. Are you kidding? Gavin Newsom can totally get it. Always could get it. Gavin Newsom's gotten it. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
I just like, it's like when every year people discover that singer Bobby Caldwell was white and they can't believe it. It blows their mind. I think that we're going through a similar thing with people discovering that Gavin Newsom is hot.
I think that's funny. I've always known he was hot, but I lived in California for so long. Like it made, you know. Anyway, so guys, well, and then let's end on the so there were so many high points, but mostly like just that last night, like just like the end with Kamala, and then here's what I'm gonna say. I would have loved it if Beyonce had come out just right at the end.
Sure.
if they had started playing Freedom and then she came out and then they were just all on stage
and
then Taylor Swift swung down.
Yeah.
No, my idea was more, here's how I would have done it. Let's just say it's just Beyonce. Let's just go with just Beyonce.
Yeah.
Okay. That Kamala finishes her speech. They start playing Freedom. You think it's just they're just playing it.
Yeah.
And then she comes out and is singing. And it's sort of like singing on the side, balloons are dropping, Kamala in the or there's like a stage that pops up from the center. I don't fucking know, guys. This is all fantasy now. I don't you know.
Yeah.
But it's like at the end, you think it's just a recording. Beyonce's actually there singing. All the families are on stage. The balloons are dropping. Everybody's freaking the fuck out.
It would have been amazing. Here's one thing I'll say. If we're finding silver linings for things, TMZ was like, wow, we really got this wrong. Sorry about that.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a little bit of a cultural reset. And if it's that people who were told this rumor and, you know, really staked their reputation on reporting it, could then say, I was given bad information. It was wrong. That's a little bit of a cultural reset. Like TMZ, like it or not, is a big deal. So for TMZ to be like, somebody told us this, we ran with it, it was wrong, that was misinformation. Like, imagine if we could all do that. Imagine if we could all follow the example of TMZ and be more like TMZ and be like, I had bad information.
What if TMZ also has evolved? We also, though, I did think that DL Hughley thing was kind of rad.
Oh, he was great. He was great. And how he talked about how he spread misinformation about Kamala because he hadn't done his own research. And she was like, do some research.
100%. Sophia Bush just texted me. Guys, everyone's ears are ringing.
Wow.
Everyone is, well, I mean, truly, fucking love her.
Give her our love.
I love you.
Well, that's a pretty good recap.
It was a pretty intense, fun, wild. Oh, and then, and I saw my friends, the Good Liars, for the first time, met them in person. I've been friends with them online for years now, 2 years, 2+ years. And like Jason texted me, what, you just walked by us. And I was like, what, where are you? And he was like, we're here. And I was like, I have to go do the creator thing. I got to go do this stuff. I'll come back.
Yeah.
So I went back and I like saw those guys and said hi to them for a while. I ran into Karen Sprock from Planned Parenthood.
Amazing.
Shit. I forgot. Oh my God, you guys, I'm sorry. There's so much. I'm sorry.
It was a big deal.
How do we even edit this? We don't know if we do. Day 2, Wednesday, Jesse and I were waiting to like scoop sweet passes from someone that was bringing them to us.
Yeah.
And we decided to go on the floor for a second and like just experience it. We're like, let's just fucking do it. So we go to the floor and lo and behold, we're standing right in front of Arizona and I freaked out. And I was so excited, but then they were so excited. And I got to meet all my Arizona, or not all, but a lot of my Arizona delegates. And like, it was just the most fun moment because it was like I got to like, I don't know, those are the people that like representing my family back home. I know I'm like from
homies.
They're my, and I just felt like, and then the other crazy thing is if you watched the panel, the live stream about the abortion panel, Ava Birch is a state senator in Arizona, in the state Senate, who gave a really incredible testimony in March of this year, this March 2024, that she was currently pregnant with a non-viable fetus.
Right.
A very wanted pregnancy. I don't know if you saw it. It went viral. It was really powerful and really intense. And she like went through the logistics of all of the things that she would like have to now go through. Right. And this was after the 1884 ban had already been like sort of repealed, but still there were so many things that happened, you know, right. that like she had to deal with. So Eva Birch and I were on this panel together, and I was like, oh my God, it's so great to meet you. And she's like, girl, we knew each other in high school. What?
I saw that. That was so cool.
Well, she and I went to different high schools, but we were both involved in cultural connections through the arts, which wildly talk about the importance of art, like publicly funded art or whatever for public high schools and things. Right. That was like a program through the Unified School District that brought together kids from all different high schools. And we would do different, cultural connections through the arts. Like it was this whole fucking thing that we did together. And I was so thrilled that we did it together. I don't know. It was just very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of amazing. So then, that's the convention.
That's the wrap up.
That was my convention, guys. Oh, no. But so then I didn't go to, every night there's like all these crazy parties after.
Right.
Your girl's so jet lagged. I had things that I had to do where I had to like not look terrible and I had to be somewhat coherent, even though that was questionable. I'm not gonna lie. My brain does feel a little fried.
Aww.
So I didn't go to the parties. I wasn't going to the parties, but everybody else was going to the parties, having a great time, whatever. The last night, Zach was like, Brandi Carlile is playing.
That's a pretty big deal.
We're going. Yeah. We're going, Busy. I was like, are we sure we are? Girl, I had a 4 a.m. pickup for my flight back to New York. 4 a.m. That convention ended at, I don't even know what time. 11 p.m.? 11:30? Yeah. We went to Brandi Carlile. She went on at 12:30, I think.
Wow.
I got into an Uber at 1. I made my flight. I did make my flight. I slept a little bit. I made my flight. Anyway, that's the wrap up.
That's very exciting. Well, thanks for sharing the wrap up with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was very glad to follow your adventures, and I was glad to hear from everyone that was like, Busy is right next to me. Should I say hi? I'm nervous. And I was like, say hi. Tell her hi. Of course, say hi.
Well, thank you to everyone that said hi. Thank you to everyone who said that they were fans of the pod. Thank you to you guys for being understanding about us taking some time off.
Yeah.
And then me taking more time off. And guys, we love you. We fucking love you.
Now we're back and we're back. We're getting ready to ramp back up and go back to QVC, and
it's going to be fun.
It's all happening. It's all happening.
Yeah. Well, there's other stuff, but we'll get into it another time. There's more stuff. There's like personal everything. We're going to just talk about everything next week.
Yeah, this was just a DNC special, and next week I'll talk to you about how my new refrigerator's doing, how my dog almost died.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's fine now. It's a medical mystery, but we'll talk all about what else happened. We'll talk all about whatever else happened over the time and whatever else is happening. But we missed you. And thanks for everybody who listened to the fill-in episodes while Busy was away. And We did a book club with Chelsea Devontes. Thanks to everybody who showed up for that. Just thanks for everybody. You've kept me company all summer.
Thanks, everybody.
And we'll talk to you soon. We love you.
We love you.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.